Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. As I mentioned previously in another video, I'm going to start doing a little bit of news segments on the channel as well. I thought about starting up my old channel again, but, you know, you guys are adults, and I don't have to label everything as news or not news. You'll know by my thumbnails if it's news or not, or if it's like men's issues or whatever. Although most of the news I'm going to be doing is also men's issues, so please keep that in mind. Australia goes full communist. Recently, there was an attack on a bishop in a church by a guy that yelled, you know, "Aloha snack bar," and decided to start putting holes in him with a blade. And it went pretty viral, and it was a pretty serious attack. And it got posted and was spread quickly on Twitter, so people were aware of it. Well, the communist government over at Australia decided not only should that not be shared, they don't want people realizing that Aloha snack bar people are running around putting pig stickers in bishops. They wanted the video taken down and not shared, and they tried to force Elon Musk to do so. Elon Musk refused to do so. He said, "Hey, we're free speech. This is a newsworthy event. People have the right to see it." And now Australia is kind of going full commie against him, not only wanting to shut him up, but also to throw him in jail for it. So, guys, back in, I think it was 1996, a large portion of Australia, there was a mass lead slinging event with pew-pews, as you guys know, and Australians decided, hey, you know what? Let's get rid of a lot of these hole punchers. Well, here we are, just 30 years later, and now the government is forcing during the bug. And during the jab session, they were talking about putting people in camps if they didn't get the jab as the government wanted. Now they're trying to take away their speech. It only takes so long before when a government doesn't fear its people anymore, it decides it can do whatever it wants. And Australia seems to be quickly going there. And I know there's about 5 or 8% of you from Australia that watch. I'm sure you're probably aware of what's going on, but the rest of the world needs to know what Australia is going to be going through, because if you don't take care of things in the beginning and you don't remind the government that you're the ones that are actually in charge, the government will quickly try to shut you down. So this is a little bit of a warning for everybody else out there. So this all started, oh gosh, let me get my image up here. I almost forgot. Let me drop that right in here. There we go. Guys, do not forget, I've got the channel betterbachelor.locals.com. To become a supporter over there, it's $5 a month. It's not a lot. $5 a month, that's less than like a hamburger or a cup of coffee nowadays. But it helps me stay independent. It allows me to do these videos that, probably will get demonetized by YouTube. Rumble doesn't really make me any income, even though I'm over there. I think all my videos throughout history have earned me a total of a whopping $200 for, 500 videos or whatever. So please consider becoming a supporter today so I can continue doing my work that I love to do and still put food on the table. Now, for those of you on YouTube, you don't get to see this. I will be jump cutting to the end of this. It's not very long. But for those of you on Rumble and Locals, you can see, I'm going to show you what happened to this bishop in Sydney, Australia. And again, on YouTube, you'll just have to close your eyes and imagine you saw it. Now the bishop is, he's okay. Thank goodness. It was an extremely long blade, so it didn't penetrate too far into him. And, it turns out he's okay. But they don't want this shared around very much. And Australia is very upset that Elon Musk has not taken it down. From the news.com.au, the teenager who allegedly attacked the bishop screamed "Aloha snack bar" after plunging the blade into his face, neck, and torso at least 8 times. The incident has been declared a terry cloth attack. I know. I'm still going to say funny words because it's funny. With Ms. Webb saying alleged elements of the teenager's actions indicated religiously motivated extremism. In addition to it allegedly yelling Aloha snack bar, counter terry cloth authorities are also aware of other comments the male is accused of making, including a reference to the Islamic prophet Muhammad. They go on to say there's some confusion about what the teen said in response, as it seems he was speaking in broken Arabic. According to the reports, he had recently converted to Islam. However, at a press conference in Canberra today, ASIO Director General Mike Burgess said the intelligence agency was aware of alleged remarks made by the teen referring to the bishop having offended the Prophet Muhammad. So, obviously, this doesn't put a good light in, or good light for the Muslim community in Australia. And so because we want to be diverse and we want to protect all backgrounds, and this isn't an indictment on other Muslims, we need to shut down the speech. Now, if it had been a Christian that did this against a Muslim person, we know it would be all over the news that a Christian did something evil, because that is the main people in power, and most Christians are white, and of course that's bad, and we need to protect the brown people because brown people are automatically victims because of the color of their skin, at least according to the left. Well, Australian senator who wants Elon Musk locked up for allowing free speech on X. Her name is Jackie Lambie. I'm telling you, women in politics was a mistake. That's all I'm going to say on that. She said Elon Musk, well, he quotes her. Let me just play it so you guys can hear what she has to say out of her own mouth.
I don't know, whatever Elon Musk is on, it says that that's okay to continue to air that is absolutely disgusting behaviour. And quite frankly, the bloke should be jailed. And the sooner that we can bring rules in or do something about this sort of game playing with our social media, the better off we're going to be. But quite frankly, the power that man has, because of that platform that he's on, it's got to stop. It has absolutely got to stop.
Now,
Elon Musk has no social...
Now, what is the power Elon Musk has that is so dangerous? The ability to let people share news without the government having control, without censors having control, without the mainstream media having control, without the three-letter agencies having control. He lets people post it. People can make their own minds up about it. But see, to governments, that's dangerous. A person being able to hear the news and see the news raw and make their own determination as to how they feel about it is dangerous. It's dangerous to the people that want to control you. It's dangerous to the people that want to make sure you only hear a certain narrative and that you think like they think, so you stay good little sheep like the sheep that you are. So obviously she's having a real one. Here she goes on a national TV and she kind of says the same thing. She says that he's creating hatred. He's creating hatred, not the person that did the Aloha snack bar with the pig sticker. That's not the person creating the hatred. That's not the evil person. It's Elon Musk for letting people know what's going on in the world.
The alleged attack, and Elon Musk really showing contempt for the government and its approach on this issue. What's your take on the tech billionaire?
So when it comes to the tech billionaire, like I've already said, I think he's a social media knob with no social conscience. He has absolutely no social conscience. Someone like that should be in jail and the key be thrown away. That bloke should not have a right to be out there on his own ideology platform and creating hatred, showing all this stuff out there to our kids and doing all the rest. I'm very interested to watch what the US is going to do with TikTok and how far that they can do with trying to get rid of that platform as well. So I think we're all watching on the United States at the moment to see what they're doing. But seriously, if we can move, and if that means in the next sitting that we can shut him down from doing this, because this is just disgraceful.
You kick the platform out?
I don't give a stuff about the platform. I'm happy to go off the platform today, to be honest with you. I already have a list of all you journalists. I don't even know why we're on the platform. But I say this to everybody else. I'll be switching off X today. I'll be doing that before I get to the airport this afternoon. And I suggest that the other 226, there's 227 members of parliament do the same thing and show them that you mean business. Because when you want to lead by example, it has to happen from here. It has to happen from here. So start switching off X. Start throwing it back at him. But we've got to start from here.
Jackie Lambie, David Pocock, great to see you.
Let me just say this. If my government officials say, well, that's it, I'm getting off X, my answer would be, bye, don't care, be gone. If she's so offended at seeing this stuff, get off X. I'm fine with that. Get off Twitter. Go away. We don't care. But people have the right to know what's going on in the world. And she says he's using his ideology. What's his ideology? The First Amendment of the United States. It is free speech. If you're offended, now I'm fine if someone's going to show the video to put a warning, sensitive content, click here to see. So if you're just scrolling through your feed and there's something that, might be sensitive or might make you upset, I'm fine with putting a label over it like that. If it's a raunchy picture, I'm fine with that. If it's, gore or someone breaking their leg or anything that might bother people, I'm fine putting a little warning that you have to do one more step, like a little click to see it. Otherwise, it's just a blurred thing that goes through your feed. I'm fine with that. And as a matter of fact, you have that ability to do on X. You can blur things that you post on there and say, hey, this is sensitive, one more step. Also, I do believe you have to be 16 and older to sign up for X. Now, they don't do verification on that because obviously that means people would have to start doxing themselves and giving Twitter their information. So there are kind of guidelines in place. But she says he's ideological and that he's circumventing the law. No, he's just letting people do their thing. But you'll notice something else too. See, to lefties and the people that want authoritarianism, billionaire is an evil word. It's tech billion. Do you think this billionaire should be able to do this? Do you think this billionaire should be able to do that? For people on the left, that is a buzzword for he's evil. For those of us that are more libertarian or, reasonably minded, our thoughts are, yeah, he's rich because he's really smart and he makes electric cars and satellites and internet that can be, both uploaded and downloaded without connecting to a landline. And he makes rocket ships that go to Mars. And yeah, he of all the people in the world, the one I feel deserves being a billionaire the most is Elon Musk, because he's actually inventing things. He's not just buying companies and scraping them off and breaking them up and for profit. But they can't have that, see? So now they want to shut him down. From Free Speech of Australia, the war of words between Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Elon Musk has intensified, with the PM slamming Mr. Musk as arrogant, ego-driven, and above the law for refusing to comply with the E-Safety Commissioner's censorship demands. And he goes on to say, I don't know, perhaps Mr. Musk just has principled commitment to free speech. So, again, I want you to hear the language in the words. He's arrogant. Nothing arrogant about saying, no, we're not going to take that down. People have the right to hear this. Ego-driven. Maybe he is, but when he just says, no, we're going to let this stand. Do you know who sounds arrogant and ego-driven? This PM, this Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese. He's the one that sounds ego-driven. He's the one that sounds like, hey, you need to take this off because we have a narrative to spit out, and you're going against the narrative, so now we need to not only remove your product from Australia, we need to throw you in jail. That's pretty much his take on this.
Elon Musk, he's mocked you this morning for choosing censorship and propaganda over free speech and truth. What's your response to that?
Well, this is a bloke who's chosen ego and showing violence over common sense. I think that Australians will shake their head when they think that this billionaire is prepared to go to court fighting for the right to sow division and to show violent videos which are very distressing. He is in social media, but he has a social responsibility in order to have that social license. And what has occurred here is...
What the hell is a social license? A social license? What is that? See, it's all about controlling speech. Let me just say, years ago when I was a younger guy, Howard Stern, who's now a deranged TDS leftist nutjob, Howard Stern was very popular on New York radio, New York City. He did a broadcast, and he did things that people hated. They wanted to shut him down. They wanted him to change his format. They wanted him to stop doing what he was doing on the radio, even though it was extremely popular. It was very funny, and people who hated him ended up listening to his show more than the people who loved him. And so they were very reticent to remove him from the airwaves. And my argument and many others' people argument at the time was simply this. Oh, you don't like hearing this? Watch. Lean forward, get that little knob on your radio and go, and turn it off. There you go. In your world, Howard Stern no longer exists. Oh, there's disturbing video on the internet. You know what I do, honestly? Because there's like, oh, watch this dude slip and fall and break both his legs backward like an ostrich. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to see that today. And I quickly scroll past the post, never to see it again. See, they want to mommy state you. They don't want you to be able to make the decision of what you do and don't want to see or what you do and don't want to know. They want to tell you because they don't fear you. They don't fear citizens. Our government doesn't. Australia's doesn't. The UK doesn't. They don't fear citizens anymore. They say, you're going to do as we tell you because we're your betters. And now that we're in power, good luck getting us out of power. And you just need to deal with that. That is their mindset. And I don't know how far it needs to go until people start pushing back, like hard. I don't know what that is. The left is happy to protest. The left is happy to go out and do horrible things, and our government's just kind of like, I didn't really see anything there. Oh, you're going to go wave a flag outside of the Capitol? You get jail for 3 years. And then so the right just quietly gets quieter and quieter, and the left goes crazy, and the left is allowed to go crazy. During the Bravo Lima Mike riots, there were two lawyers that took Molotov cocktails and threw them inside a police car. They got probation for destroying public property. They knew better. They're attorneys. They know better. They got probation. They didn't get any hard time for that. But grandma waving a flag outside of on Capitol grounds on the 7th, and she's going to get, 2 years and who knows what else. At a certain point, there's going to be a breaking. And I think the left is trying to goad the right into doing something kind of like the left does, because then it'll go all through the news. Look how evil these people are, and oh, they're crazy. But in the meantime, when the left does something, the news is like, nothing to see here. Fiery, but mostly peaceful, right?
Is that the E-Safety Commissioner has made very sensible suggestions. Other social media companies have complied.
Boom. That's important. Other social media companies have complied. Facebook, YouTube, which is also part of YouTube being part of Google. That means Facebook and Meta. That means YouTube. That means Google. That means I'm trying to think of what other social media companies there are. I don't know. Anyway, because I'm not on a lot of Instagram, which is part of Meta. They've complied. They've said, okay, the government wants to hide this, so we're going to help them. The only one that's not complying so far, Rumble and Twitter. Those are the only two that I know of. Maybe like Odyssey hasn't, and maybe Gab hasn't. There's a couple other sites out there, and I don't know about TikTok. But that's why I say, for me at least personally, a lot of my news comes from Twitter now because there hasn't been a spin on it. It's here's video of something happening that I took and I'm uploading it. And then you can watch it and say, okay, I see what's going on here. That's why most of my news comes from, because it's not getting filtered through a writer, a journalist who has their own mindset of, that makes the left or the right look bad. I don't want you to see that.
Without complaint. But this bloke thinks he's above the Australian law, that he's above common decency. And I tell you what, I say to Elon Musk that he is so out of touch with what the Australian public want. This has been a distressing time, and I find this bloke on the other side of the world, from his billionaires' establishments, trying to lecture Australians about free speech.
He's not lecturing you. He's just saying we have free speech here in America. In America, this is an American company, so you can stuff it. I'm going to jump over to the main story here in just a moment, but here he is again. He's going after Elon Musk, and he accidentally admits X platform's the only truthful one. Despite cyber regulators demanding the removal of the posts on X, Elon Musk refuses to bend to their demands, stating it is absurd for any one country to attempt to censor the rest of the world. Other platforms censor their users and remove the content. X is the only for free speech. And yes, Elon did, mock him a little bit. I'm not going to go down and read through this. I thought about reading this whole thing, but yeah, he says YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Reddit. I don't know what the @ with the curly Q in the center of that is. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's Gab. I don't know. And TikTok have censorship and propaganda. And he says free speech and truth on X. So far, I do find that to be true. Because if I want to hear a leftist's take on something, or a centrist, or someone from the Philippines, or live video from Australia, or someone that snuck a video outside of, I don't know, Russia or something about the war. I get a lot of the war footage that I've seen is on Twitter, because you have guys on the battlefield, both for Ukraine and for Russia, filming and uploading it to the internet. It's one of the things that makes me actually very against this war and very upset. The fact that we could have ended it, a year plus ago, but that it's still getting dragged out, is watching men die on the battlefield to drones they can't shoot down, they can't escape from. That they're just, there's so many videos of guys laying on the ground looking up at that drone, which has a camera and is recording and can get uploaded, looking at that thing, and a guy with his, from his knee down, that's been, blown off or whatever, and he's looking at the camera like, dude, I can't fight anymore. You can see they're all banged up, bleeding, bandages all over them, and they're like, please, just like, I got nothing left. And you can see them literally looking at that drone like this, and they're like, nope, yeet, boom. And I'm like, it's almost like a human fighting a Terminator in the movies, where you just say, that guy doesn't have a chance. You can try to shoot at it, but trying to hit something that's, the size of a bread box, as a common, often old-timey expression. But trying to hit something that's, a foot by a foot, zipping all around the air, trying to shoot at that's impossible. But all it has to do is just swing around and boom, and you're done. When I start seeing that stuff, it's on Twitter. It's unfiltered. And then you can say, something, I feel bad for everybody. And I feel bad for the men involved in that, for having to do this for their countries, for having to go to war for their country. That really humanized the conflict for me. Free speech is going to be very, very much under attack by everybody, by all these governments, because they don't want you to know what they don't deem is okay for you to know. And that's important. The comments on this, and I did do the viewing by the most popular. This V8 Johnny says, I only heard our prime minister mocking Elon Musk with pathetic personal references. Not very classy at all. He says, Elon, you have my vote. And he says, so our prime minister, so this is an Australian. Denise replies, our PM is very good with mocking and snarky comments to get what he wants, censorship. Let's see, what other comments do we have? He's another guy, Gary, says, me too. We need you, Elon. Imagine the result if Elbow had his way during the voice propaganda. I have heard the Kuka Lookers, a cannibalistic tribe, are active on the Koda Trail, though. I have no. That was gobbledygook. I got nothing. Someone else says, go Elon, take no notice of a man who mishandles the truth regularly. Another guy, I agree with Elon Musk. There are Australians saying, no, I want to know what's going on. And here's what will happen. Because this is why, as a matter of fact, with this TikTok thing that's going through in the United States, they're trying to put making VPNs illegal. The United States government is trying to make a VPN illegal because that allows you to circumnavigate the lockdowns that they have on the internet and speech. And I'm sure there's going to be, more things that Australians get put in as well. They're trying to do the full lockdown China/North Korea thing, where there's no VPNs, you can't get out to see the real world, and you're going to only see what we want you to see. You're going to only hear the propaganda we want you to hear, and thus control you. It's 2024, gang. They're going to do as much as they can to try to shut down for the United States next elections. And if you listen to this lady right here, she even says that we're looking at what the United States is going to do with TikTok, and we're going to see how what they can do with that, and then we're going to follow suit. This doesn't mean the end of the world. It doesn't mean your life is over. But I tell you what, it means knowing what's going on and knowing the truth in the world is only going to get harder and worse. And that's the way they want it. I don't know when a large enough group of people have had enough and they decide to actively push back. And how that pushback is, I don't know. But Australians, you're quickly, just like Canada and to the UK and the United States and Germany, and we're quickly going down some pretty dangerous, slippery slopes. And I don't think it ends well for anybody. Guys, I will leave it there. Once again, if you are enjoying my content, please come over to betterbachelor.locals.com. Help support me. Do my independent content, and that way I can get away from Big Mama YouTube and continue to put some nickels in my pocket. I appreciate you, and we will see you in the next one.